which
I guess we're gonna be doing a little bit differently because we've all seen
it.
this in the last 2 days.
Yeah, we had a cast last night, and then we decided to redo it because
We
like,
love you guys so much, and we
I was
just
like,
were
Sam,
like,
you're-
that's
you're
not
gonna
good
like
enough
it?
for our fans.
and then Mac's gonna fucking hate it.
I thought Mac turned it off like 10 minutes in.
I don't know what Coca
I made
thought,
it like
but
25 minutes in.
Oh, that's
Oh man, you didn't even
Mac
get
just
to the
gave
best
up.
part.
But yeah,
Go ahead, Nick.
so yeah, Angel's Egg. It's a 1985 OVA by
Movie.
Studio Dean.
It's a movie.
Studio Dean. It's a movie OVA. It's
just-
technically an
I don't
OVA.
know. It's
No, it's a
Whatever.
movie.
It
was
doesn't
in
matter.
theaters, it's a movie.
Okay. Quit
On ballot,
getting
no
hung
VA,
up
but
on technicalities
semantics.
and just present the damn show.
semantics.
It's a little bit of backstory before we describe it. The director Mamoru Oshii, he also directed Patlabor and Ghost in the Shell, among other things. He was training before this to become some sort of like he was like studying theology and trying to become a priest or something like that in Christianity. So before that, though, or right after that, he had a traumatic experience and he just gave up on religion. He became atheist, agnostic, and then he made this movie Angel's Egg. So like the whole idea of Angel's Egg is kind of it borrows a lot from Christianity and Judaism a little bit. So the theme is losing religion a little bit, kinda. We think.
Maybe.
Wait, are we supposed to talk now, or is Nick still going?
No, I was seeing if anyone
Nick,
wanted to say
Nick is
something.
still going.
Oh,
Nick's still setting us up.
he was saying.
Studio Dean, am I right?
You see, my opinion is going to be very different from
We
Coca's.
could give like a
Can-
basic. We could just give a basic thing of what's happening. Is like there's
This girl is. They don't. She don't have a name. They don't have names. Okay.
yeah. There's two characters.
There's two characters. There's a girl and then a soldier. The girl doesn't. This big orb comes down. It almost looks like a fucking just alien ship, like just a tinier Death Star, kind of with a big eye.
It looks like a very lazy eyeball.
Yeah, and it's fashioned with all these statues of angels
Oh,
on them.
what are those eyeballs from D&D? What are those called?
Beholders? That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a beholder.
It's a beholder.
But it comes down and it has this loud noise that kind of wakes her up, and right away you can tell that this city is just that she's walking around in and scavenging for food in and water, and is just desolate. Okay, like she's pretty much like one of a kind in this whole entire city.
Yeah, it's set in a post-disaster cityscape.
Definitely something happened there, and whatever. But she collects like these water bottles. They look like these big round fish bowls with a small spout on the top, and she sees this soldier. She's carrying around this egg the whole entire movie, taking care of it. She like puts it under her shirt. So
Oh, that's where the egg comes from in the title.
Yes, Quokka. That's where it comes from. No, it's fucking Inaho from Al Knows
the
Zero,
world
just
is going to be
eating
doomed
eggs.
unless you become Superman 4, The Return to Power. That's why they call it that.
Wow.
But I mean, it right away you can just fucking tell that this movie is just gonna be really artsy, really drug out. Every scene is
Yeah, I was like 3 minutes in, I was like, this is one artsy-fartsy film right here.
okay, but to be fair, the way Nick described it earlier today and yesterday, he made it seem like it was gonna be some straight acid trip shit, and that's really not what it was at all.
Yeah, not quite. It's not.
Well, it'd
it's
be a
not
very
like
sedate
Satoshi
acid
Kon.
trip.
It's not like Paprika or anything.
No,
but
it's just straight scenery artsy.
Yeah, like there's a whole like 20 lines of dialogue in this, and more than half of that is telling the basic of Noah's Ark.
yeah.
sort of. Yeah, there's actually like a bunch of references. I was reading a blog about it, and some guy's like, yeah, they pulled it from this passage and that book of the Bible and this and there, and it's like
How
just
specific
a
that is
bunch
totally
of different
irrelevant.
influences from the.
Well, something about the dove. They sent a dove to go get some land, and he never came back, or whatever. And that actually is kind of significant at the very end. But, I don't know. He's kind of telling her, "Do you know what's in the egg?" And she doesn't want to tell him. And he kind of is like, "You're not gonna know unless you break it. Unless you break it open." And there's like these
Or
fishermen.
hold it up to a light.
Or hold it. Yeah. Well.
You hold it up to a light.
There was no light that was happening in this movie. Okay.
What
But
is this, a fucking envelope? You're trying to like change your grades?
yeah, dude. Seriously, I did that shit all the time. But no, there was these fishermen running around. They looked like they were fucking Civil War soldiers, but they had these spears, and there was these shadows of coelacanth like fish, huge ass fish, whales even, just happening along the buildings and streets, and they would keep throwing their harpoons at these shadows like they were fishing, and they would just hit the brick and the wall, and nothing would happen.
Oh, dude, for a second I thought you got like the fish species right. I was like, holy shit. There's multiple possible interpretations for the different symbolisms, and like the fish is like, fish are recurring symbols in Christian mythology. They mean Christ and other stuff and faith, pretty much. It's literally just faith. And then there's the other interpretation. It's like the shadows of those particular fish in the film are extinct fish. So they're kind of like fallen angels, and the spearmen are never able to really catch them.
Well, because
God,
they're
it's like
shadows.
it's so crazy. Like I can just
You
read off
can't
the blog,
harpoon
but
a
that's not very
shadow.
interesting.
As it turns out.
We'll probably link this in the show notes because it gives a much better explanation. But essentially, I have my own theory, is that it's like the man is the protagonist and the girl is just another another statue or another angel or version of faith, pretty much. And like my theory is that she at the end of the movie, I won't get too into details, but at the end of the movie, there's a statue of her on the Godhead, or the big eye, the big orb, and that statue is among a bunch of other statues. And then it pans way out, and you see like this ark that the guy is standing on. And I think the guy is the one. He keeps like, what is it? He keeps finding different religion or aspects of religion, and he keeps destroying them because he can't get them. And then those soldiers, I think, are like his subconscious. Like the whole city is his, like, is his idea of the world, pretty much. And then those soldiers just keep chasing the fish and then never catch them. Something like that.
Yeah, like it's like when it pans out, the island. He's like on an island, and the island that is like in the shape of an arc, and you realize that it's just a small part of the world that he's on.
Then it pans out
That's
more, and it's
flooded.
like it's in a marble, and then it turns into the Men in Black movie, and the aliens flicking it across.
Wow.
Here come the men in black.
Black.
No, but one thing that
It's
I thought
on
was
Orion's
really
belt.
weird is there's the one scene, like right before she meets a soldier, when those tanks roll by.
With all the phallic symbols.
No, and
There's
what?
like giant dicks off the.
Well,
hanging
one,
off
it's
the
super
tanks.
weird that they have their turrets all turned to the side instead of straight forward. But what's more weird is that their design is like biomechanical,
Yeah.
because they made a very clear point in a show with minimal sound effects to make sure that the tank had a squishy sound to it.
Yeah, and they had like all these tubes going in and out from parts of it and stuff, and
They were Avas.
it turns out they were Avas. The movie's even.
Yeah,
They're
they're the
Avas.
factory made
The
ones.
movie's Evangelion confirmed. 2015.
3.33 dub coming out in February.
Oh, finally, Jesus.
But yeah, one thing that's interesting
Speaking of
to
Jesus,
note is that there is a book called The Stray Dog of Anime, and both the director and the designer of Angel's Egg both said they don't know what it's about.
but that doesn't really matter after a certain point, because like you and Sam were arguing like on one of the practice episodes, it's all about what interpretation everyone else can make from it. Just because the author says one thing doesn't mean that's what it means.
Well,
You guys know what I'm saying? It's like the death of the author. So like, I'm gonna paint a picture of a tree. I say this tree represents happiness, whatever,
right.
and then you say it represents sadness. Like it's not. None of us are right, but it just depends how you back up what your claim is.
Right.
Yeah, kind of like how Sword Art
But-
Online is actually a good anime.
Well, that's just wrong, Mac.
Yeah, that's
Don't
just
go
wrong.
too far.
There are some bad positions to take in this world, and that's one of them.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
But in that, if they had an
pretty
interpretation
colors.
that didn't really fit, there would be an issue. Because it does mean, like, if you were to make a work of art with specific goals in mind for the interpretation, and pretty much across the board, everybody falls on a different interpretation, then you have failed.
No, that's not true.
No, not necessarily.
That's not true at
Because
all.
like,
How-
look at
How is that not a
Evangelion.
failure?
Look at Evangelion though. That's like one of the most popular animes ever, and a lot of people still don't know what it means.
This is exactly what I was saving my thoughts for.
So like,
Go ahead, Nick.
it kind of adds some controversy to it. It's not. I mean, there's a reason this movie isn't like a popular blockbuster because it's not going to sell very well. It's like intentionally a little bit abstract. You have to know the more
Well,
you
yeah,
know
it's
about
postmodern.
symbolism. Yeah, the
It's
more you
weird
know
for the
about
sake of being
symbolism
weird.
and Christianity, the more you'll get out of it. And like honestly, I think a best way to watch this movie is to watch it yourself and then like think about it for a little bit, and then go read up on it and see what other people have said, like other people who know what they're talking about. And like hopefully in the show notes we'll have links to some stuff that'll give more info.
I
But
mean,
yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
I mean, look, and I'm only saying this because I know, okay, and you guys should know too. I mean, you guys watch a shit ton of anime. You know, anime is an art form, okay. Me as an artist, half the time, like sometimes when I'm painting, dude, I'm just in it, okay. I'm in it to win it. I'm just doing it. Okay, I'm just drawing pictures. I'm just doing whatever. Oh, hey, let's put a fucking sword in this dude's hand. Hey, let's put a splatter of paint over here. It sometimes it just fucking happens, okay? And I got 3 theories. Because Nick said that not even the creators know what the fuck they did, right?
Well, that was me, but okay.
Well, yeah, because Nick said it yesterday. Didn't he?
I said it yesterday.
Oh.
No, the creator said it, and we're just quoting him.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, the creator said it yesterday.
Whatever.
But anyway,
We all
yeah,
said
whatever.
it.
When we had the creators on the show yesterday, that's
I
what they
think
said.
yeah. We had Yoshitaka on the show yesterday. You missed it. But freaking, I'm thinking maybe they just don't fucking remember. Like I can look at one of my drawings or paintings
I mean,
now. And
there were a lot of drugs in the 80s.
Yeah, no, for real. For
And the
real. What if
90s
that's what
and
happened?
The 2000s.
What if that's
I
what
know.
happened? And in interviews they just didn't want to fucking admit that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Oh, how easy is it to get drugs in Japan though? That's the other question.
Oh, I don't
Easy enough if you haven't been keeping up with the news. There were 3 shows taken off of Japanese streaming sites because